Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, so just want to tell the audience how you got started. Basically, you were initially a law student in France, and you didn't necessarily have that much money. You could only afford one meal a day. And that meant that when you entered politics and you saw just how much food is being wasted out there, it really motivated you to act. Just walk us through what the law actually is that bans supermarkets from wasting food.
Thank you very much, Zain. First of all, thank you so much to invite me. It's an honor to come to Sweden. France and Scandinavian countries are very friends, and we are friends here. That's why I'm coming here. What is the law against the food waste? We passed the law the last 3rd February 2016.
Okay.
3 years ago. This law comes from, at first, my very difficult young
Your
life.
difficult youth. You had a tough childhood.
Because when I was student, I earned only 800 euros, and my rent was 400 euros. That's why I positive my energy. I said to myself, I will be a city councillor, I will become a politic, and I will change myself, my life, and the life of others.
Okay.
What is the problem, Zain? The problem is exactly the same in Sweden, in France, in Europe, and other countries. We have got, in France, the example of my country, a very big problem. Each night, all the supermarket throw out to the garbage most of 50 kilos of food. This food is consumable. We can eat this food, but all the supermarket throw out to the garbage this food. Just in front of that, we have got more than 10 or maybe 15 million persons in France that they haven't got money at the end of the month. So we have got the same problem in Europe. 1 million persons, 100 million persons. This is the same problem everywhere. One meal on 3 is thrown out to the garbage on the world.
Okay.
That's why this is the law that we pass in France, and I come to the Northern Europe to call all my friends here to say, pass the same law in your country, we need you in our continent.
So what does the law actually do, though?
This law is very simple. Each association could come in front of the supermarket and ask to the supermarket to give themselves the unsold food. If the supermarket refuses, it will be a fine of 3,750 euros. And do you know how many supermarkets refuse to give the unsold food? 0. You know why? Bad advertising. And because I call to all the supermarkets in my country, I said them, if a supermarket refuses, we give them lots of lawyers. Everybody's scared. You know, I will say you...
So you threaten to sue them, basically?
I will give you my own experience. I am right-hand. I'm sorry, but this law was unanimously voted in France. Why? Because about food and about hunger, we cannot divide themselves. We could be unified. Our continent today is in a big crisis, Zain. I am French, but here we have got Norway present, Danish, or Sweden, or other countries from Europe. Everybody needs that today, needs to know today that we have got the Brexit. We have got a big problem. The poverty is the worst thing that we have got in our continent. We need to build our continent with the fraternity and the solidarity. This is the most important.
Okay, so for everybody here who's not French, what can other countries learn from what you've done in France?
First thing, we have got a very important petition online on change.org. On my Twitter, Arash, you can retweet it and vote and sign the petition. This petition has got the support, is it good, the word?
Yeah.
Of World Food Programme, of Red Cross, and action against hunger. I'm sorry, my English is the
It's
best.
perfect. Your English
Sorry.
is perfect. Everyone can understand you. Don't worry.
With French accent. And the second thing is to call your politic.
Politicians, right?
Politician, exactly. I said to Emmanuel Macron, I was with him to Russia last week, to St. Petersburg. And I said to him to call the others politicians of the United Europes and call them that to vote directive European that the same of France. The third thing is that everybody here could make the same thing in France because we have got the same problem. Call your deputies, your senators, and said in France we have got this law. What is the consequence of this law? Because this is the most important. Because I had critique about this law. Somebody said that I am communist, but it's not communist. I don't want to make law about everything. This law is very simple. The consequence is we distributed more than 10 million meals each year thanks to this law. This is 22% grown off to give the food in our country. This is the emergency. We cannot resolve all the problem of the chain food, but the emergency is to help the poor persons and the middle class. The middle class is the mother with 2 children, the student, the functionary, the retirement person. This person that they are hide. It's very big problem that we could help immediately.
Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. That's great. So I'm curious, though. I mean, obviously, you even had resistance. You had people calling you a communist. I don't even understand why anybody would be against, helping poor people or people who are food insecure and giving them free food that's available. But besides laws, though, are there any other ways that supermarkets or other parts of society could be self-motivated, just for countries that don't have an appetite for more laws, self-motivated to combat food waste?
You have to know something, Zain. Why we passed a law again? Because when you have got all the supermarkets, only 1/3 of the supermarkets depends of the headquarter. The 2/3 depends of nothing. They are independent. They are franchise. In my country...
So you mean small supermarkets versus large chains? Okay.
This is not the problem of the size. The problem is the law. This is the mentality. We passed the law in only 1 year because I hadn't time to discuss, to debate. We have got homeless. We have got poor person. And I have to discuss, to debate that why we don't need to throw out to the garbage the food. Are we crazy now? This is the civilization that we want? No, we don't want this civilization. We want the fraternity in our continent. And I want just to know to say to you that all the supermarkets in Europe will have to know that something. We will be friends with all them if they apply this law. We combat very strongly all them that they continue to throw out to the garbage this food. And another thing that you have to know, each year, at the July now, we consume all the product of the year on the earth. We are now 8 billion persons. And if we continue like that, we need 2 planets. We cannot continue like that, Zain. It's not possible.
So obviously with supermarkets, that is one part of the issue. But really, most of the food waste in the world comes from ordinary consumers. It comes from restaurants. It comes from people, at home in the dinner table throwing out what's in their fridge. How do you combat that? There's no law to combat what people do in their private lives, is there?
I had this argue when I was passed the law in France. All the lobby of the supermarket said that Mr. Derambarsh, the most person that throw to the garbage the food is not the supermarket, only 5%, but you, the consumers, 45%. It's true. But how can I, do you think that I will take the plane of the people here to give to the poor person? No, it's not the dignity. I need the 5% of the supermarket to distribute to the poor person at first. And the second step, the third step is to resolve all this system. What is this system? Very simply, we have got a food chain, production, transformation, distribution, and consumers. Today, this system kill the producers, the farmers. With this system, the price is very high for the producers, the farmers. They kill them, and this system creates a very amazing sick person, like obesity,
Yes.
problem of heart, cancer, diabetes. This system creates a very bad system. But I'm sorry, I don't found a good term, but everybody understand what I say. Mm-hmm. We need to change and to reform. Sorry.
No. There's no need to apologize.
But I work very hardly, my English.
We are running out of time, so just one last quick question. Is it better to donate food that has been wasted, or is it better to figure out a system where the food isn't wasted in the first place?
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to explain again. Is it better...
okay.
Si c'est mieux. Like, is it better to make sure that to donate the food that is wasted, or is it better to make sure that the food is never wasted in the first place?
Okay. For me, is to the most important is to reform the system. The emergency is the first of your question, the half first. The second part of your question is to reform. What is the reform that I said? Is to reform the food chain. This is the most important, because the children of these people here and the people that watch this interview, that have to understand that if we not change this food chain, we will have a very bad consequence for the next generation. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much to listen to me.
Oh, thank you so much. That was wonderful.